The activist-led nationwide effort to get our politicians to take climate crisis and climate breakdown seriously continues in the very near future with some nationwide actions that you might be able to get involved in. Joining us now to break it down, Katie Eder, the national lead of #IamJuliana. Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you on to talk about what's about to happen. So on June 1st, what's going on?
So yeah, on June 1st, young people all across the country will be holding local press conferences in their communities to show their solidarity with the 21 young people who are plaintiffs on the Juliana versus US case. They're suing the government for knowingly contributing to climate change for over 5 decades. So young people across the country are holding press conferences to share their stories of how climate change is impacting their lives and to stand in solidarity with the 21 young plaintiffs.
So I want to talk more about how people could possibly get involved in some of these actions, but first a little bit more on the court case. So first of all, do you have any indication of how it might end up going? And also, what's the goal coming out of this? What are the people hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, so the case itself was actually filed in 2015, so has been happening for many years now, and the government has continued to use delay tactic after delay tactic to try to get the case dismissed. So the case is actually yet to go to trial, but even though it hasn't gone to trial, the plaintiffs have continued to win. They have really amassed a large body of evidence that shows that the government is causing climate change and is violating our constitutional rights by doing so. So the upcoming June 4th hearing on Tuesday is going to decide whether or not the case goes to trial, and then it will also decide if the motion for an injunction that was filed by the plaintiffs to put a pause on all new fossil fuel infrastructure will be put into place while the case is in the appeal process, which is where it is right now. So that is a really big decision that will come out of that June 4th hearing, as well as hopefully setting a trial date. So we can see a win come from this landmark court case.
And hopefully the actions on June 1st will help people, especially in the media, to actually pay attention to this and to not ignore it as they have in the past. But in addition to the press conferences, you're going to be announcing some major campaigns that people could potentially get involved in. What are some of the forms that they'll take?
Yeah, young people all across the country, in addition to sharing their stories about how climate change has impacted them and talking about the Juliana case during their press conferences, will be announcing local, statewide, national initiatives that they're launching, that they'll be working on throughout the summer and after, to really make sure that we continue to see climate action being taken on all different levels. So we're seeing really creative things, as simple as asking everyone to go vegetarian on June 4th, the day of the hearing, to really amazing comprehensive statewide legislation that groups will be starting to push, styrofoam bans for local communities and municipalities, and trash cleanups on local levels. So we're really seeing all sorts of things that young people are announcing.
And so as you mentioned there that as young people are announcing it, so you are an activist, you are still young, but you've been involved in a number of different actions over the course of the past few years. What do you think about the role of youth-led activist groups in this particular topic over the past 6 months or so?
I think it's really exciting. Young people are always the catalyst for change when it comes to social movements. When young people get involved, something changes and something happens, and we really start to see an impact being made and action being taken. And for climate specifically, I think what's going to make this movement so successful and is what's making it so successful is that there is already so much really strong infrastructure in place, and there's a lot of ways that people can engage on all different levels with the climate movement. And so I think that young people now getting involved and really starting to kind of get into the media a little bit as well is going to help bring the attention that this movement needs and that has been building for a really long time to see action truly be taken to start to address the climate emergency.
So Katie, you say you're amassing stories of people sharing their experience on how climate change has kind of affected their lives. I'm curious as to what kind of stories there are. Like what is an example of something that someone you've interacted with shared that really, typifies the kind of effect that climate change has on their lives?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's so unfortunate about where we are with the climate crisis is that young people in communities all across the country and all across the world are being hit by the effects of climate change in ways that we didn't expect, and are going to continue to be hit by ways that we don't even totally comprehend now. I think the flooding that's happening right now in Oklahoma is a perfect example. It's not getting very much media coverage, but there are young people whose homes are underwater and who are going to have to deal with those catastrophic effects for the rest of their lives. And that's taking away from their futures and all of our futures. And so that's really the message that we're trying to send is, as a generation, we have the right to a future free from climate catastrophe. And if our global leaders aren't going to take action, then we're going to demand it until a change is made.
Well, Katie, good luck with the effort tomorrow, and we're going to be watching next week to see how much the media pays attention to this incredibly important case as it continues forward. And we appreciate your activism.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.